It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to this insightful and enriching webinar on linking Panchakosha with wellness and well-being for young children. We are thrilled to have such a wonderful gathering of educators and professionals who are deeply committed to the holistic development of young minds. This session promises to be highly engaging and insightful, and we encourage all of you to participate actively. You can post your questions in the Q&A section and we will address them towards the end of the session. You will also receive the e-certificate of participation post-webinar, and the recording of the webinar will be posted on our YouTube channel Burlington English within 3 working days. Let's make the most of this opportunity to gain practical strategies that can help us nurture well-rounded and emotionally resilient children. Today, we are honored to have with us Dr. Swati Popat Vats, a globally renowned early childhood education expert with over 34 years of experience and president of Podar Education Network and Early Childhood Association. She has coined the term kiducation as a guiding philosophy for her curriculum and has recently developed a non screen based pre coding curriculum for early years that helps children learn and think. A warm welcome to you, Swati ma'am. We sincerely thank you for taking the time to share your invaluable insights with us today. Now, without further ado, let's begin with this exciting journey into the world of Panchakosha and early childhood wellness. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and welcome to all the participants. And kudos to Burlington for hosting the fourth Saturday, 4 o'clock webinars. I'm sure all educators look forward to it. I definitely do. And I love the topics that they come out with. These topics are definitely something that schools will benefit from. And these discussions help us understand if we are doing the practice already, then it makes us feel good. And if we are not doing the practice, then it gives us an insight on how to go about and introduce that in our school. So, we are all aware that the National Curriculum Framework 2022 and the National Curriculum Framework 2023 have already been launched. I'm sure many of you have already gone through it, and most of you must have used the A to Z of NCF developed by ECA to understand these documents in more detail. Now, some of the terms that have emerged in our NEP 2020 and NCF 22 and 23 are terms like Panchakosha, Panchadi, uh, Vikas, Smriti, etc. Because these terms are part of our Indian knowledge systems. So, India has a rich tradition, thousands of years old, where education is concerned. Of course, some of it got lost on the way because we were always ruled by somebody or the other, and our Indian education, our knowledge systems got lost on the way. Well, we are back with them in our NEP and our NCF. So today we are going to talk about Panchakosha. So, what are these Panchakosha and why should we have them in our curriculum? So, let's see the next slide. So, I would like to quote a scholar, Yongshuo from China, and he came out with a term, and the term is called Gofendeneng, and which actually means that good at tests but bad at everything else. And I think this is what is very relevant today, that we are bringing up a generation who are giving exams, who are getting stressed out in giving exams, but who lack life skills, who lack values, who lack morals. Because when you push somebody to achieve, you have to achieve marks, you have to achieve grades, you have to achieve that percentage, then the person starts achieving it at any cost. The cost can be their own health, their cost can be their own well being, or their cost can be somebody's health or somebody's future. So, this is what we all have to be very alert about, aware about as educators? Are we pushing our children to just become test takers, or are we really bringing up human intelligence? Especially now that we are all grappling with this term called AI, artificial intelligence, it's time for us to understand, are we really bringing up humans? Because you first need human intelligence if you want to thrive in artificial intelligence. So that is something that I love this quote, and I feel the NEP 2020 is so relevant for changing our education system from stress test to experiential and joyful learning. You know, many of you must have heard the word stress test. It's usually used by cardiologists who tell us कि आपके हार्ट के हेल्थ के बारे में हमको चेक करना है and you need to take a stress test. And that's what it is. It is basically to test whether your body is healthy or is trying to cope with something. Why do we need to give such stress tests to our children? Why should we have these kind of things for our children? So it is very, very important for us to understand that let's bring a change in our education system. And it is only possible if we understand what the problem is and then accept the solution. Because if we don't understand the problem, then we will not be able to accept the solution. So let's agree that yes, there is a problem, and then let's look at the solutions. Let's see the next slide. So let's look at the terms given on the left hand side of the slide: social connectedness, empathy, exercise, nutrition, sleep, mindfulness. Do you think they are essential? I'm sure you will all say yes. So, according to the WHO, health is defined as being a state of complete physical, mental, and social well being, and not just merely the absence of disease. So when people say ना मुझे कभी खांसी नहीं होती है, मुझे कभी बुखार नहीं होता है, मुझे कभी कुछ नहीं होता है, I'm perfectly healthy. Is your mental health healthy also? Are you really feeling good about yourself? Because as human beings, we've started associating disease with health. And we feel कि अगर body में disease नहीं है तो हम लोग बहुत healthy है. But each one of us, let's be frank with each other, each one of us is grappling with our own mental health issues. Each one of us is grappling with stress. ये ठीक होगा कि नहीं, ये मेरा जॉब जाएगा तो क्या होगा, मेरा बच्चा नहीं पढ़ पाएगा तो क्या होगा, मेरी शादी नहीं हुई है, ओ माय गॉड आई पुट ऑन सो मच ऑफ वेट, एम आई रियली सो डार्क, व्हाट अबाउट माय हेयर फॉल. All this is something that's surrounding us all the time. So when we talk about health, we also have to talk about well-being. We also have to talk about wellness. So these words which I gave you, social connectedness, empathy, exercise, nutrition, sleep, mindfulness, which part of the curriculum are we teaching this to children? In which part of the curriculum are children actually getting these? So that's what we all have to think about. Are they getting it in literacy? Are they getting it in numeracy? Are they getting it in rhymes? Are they getting it? Where are they getting this? So it's very, very important for all of us to understand it's high time we started focusing on putting this consciously in our curriculum. Let's see the next slide. So it's called wellness and well-being. We need to make wellness and well-being a part of our curriculum. We cannot say that it is covered in every aspect of our curriculum. Many a times when I ask schools कि ये कहाँ डालती हो, तो मैम मैं literacy में डालती हूँ, मैं numeracy में डालती हूँ, but ऐसे नहीं होता है. We need to highlight and focus on it. We can't say कि आज जो मैंने एक worksheet दिया उसमें 2 मिनट मैंने wellness किया. No, it can't happen like that. We need to focus on it as a separate topic, as a separate time, and as a separate inclusion in all our activities. That whenever we plan something for our children or our students, we should ask ourselves, is this going to improve the wellness and well being of my children? Otherwise, let me rethink this. That should be how we should be focusing on and addressing wellness and well being. Let's see the next slide. So, what is wellness and well being? So let's see. Wellness is the act of practicing healthy habits on a daily basis to attain better physical and mental health outcomes. So basically, what are the healthy habits that we have every day? We sleep, we eat, we exercise, we walk, we do some meditation. Uh, all this is called your daily habits in which you are practicing so that you are well, that you are wellness, you have wellness in you. So then, wow, what is well-being? Well-being is a state of happiness. Well-being is when you are thin, you are rich, you are successful, but are you happy? Or are you still wondering, usko kitne likes mile, why was she called to speak and I was not? That's not well-being. So you may have wellness, but you may lack completely in well-being. So when schools say that yes, we take care of the health of every child, we ensure that they eat on time, they sleep on time, they do, but are they also happy? Or are children coming to somewhat stress? Because let's look at our teenagers. Teenagers is when the stress actually shows. So you have teenagers who are not able to cope up with examinations. You have teenagers who are not able to cope up with parental expectations. You have teenagers who are not able to cope up with bullying. And then what do? They take a wrong decision. Some of them go on drugs, some of them commit suicide. So then what about their well-being? Were they able to understand their own well being? No, because nobody understood their well being till now. So, wellness and well being are two sides of the same coin. The coin is useless if one of the sides is missing. So, basically, wellness and well being tell us that you can't just survive, you have to thrive. That is important. Let's see the next slide. So, what are the Panchakoshas? So, in the NEP, they are given, in the NCF, they are given, and the Panchakosha have to be used in every stage of our educational life. The Panchakosha. It is basically a holistic model, and it has 5 layers. So, it has the Annamaya Kosh, which means the physical body, your outer body, and then you have the pranamaya kosh, which is the energy body, which means your internal body. And I like the panchakosha and our Indian knowledge systems because if you see globally, they talk about the physical body as one. So you have gym में जाओगे तो physical body पूरा बनाएंगे, हो गया. In yoga, you will have breathing exercises, you will have consciousness, mindfulness, because the internal body is as important as the external body. And I know of so many people who are slim, very slim, but their internal body lacks that strength. They start breathing heavily when they have to climb a few stairs, though they are slim. But because your health is not just defined by your external body, your health is also defined by your internal body. So, not many of us know that just like you have a blood system, you also have a lymph system. So, there are two kinds of liquids flowing in your body. Then, when you start getting hormonal imbalance, that's when the doctors tell you about the lymph nodes. So, this Annamaya Kosh and Pranamaya Kosh make teachers, educators, and parents aware of the whole body. Then you have the Manomaya Kosh, which means your mental body, your emotions, your feelings, your mental health. Then you have the Vijnanamaya Kosh. It's also spelled with a J. So Vijnanamaya Kosh, which is your intellectual body, which means your thinking body, your logical body, your analytical body. And then you have Anandamaya Kosh, which is your bliss, that feeling of well-being. So let's see the five, how they take us to our well-being. So you take care of your external body, you take care of your internal body, you take care of your mental health, you take care of your intelligence. And if you take care of all this, you will reach Anandamaya. Anandamaya means bliss. I am happy. I have stress, but I know how to deal with stress. I have unhappiness, but I know how to deal with that unhappiness. I have frustration, but I know how to deal with that frustration. That is bliss. That is when you have control over every aspect of your body. And isn't that what we want our children to grow up into? We want children who are resilient. Resilient means we are not saying keep children away from all dangers, keep them away from all kinds of things, protect karo, protect karo. No. We want to grow up children who can protect themselves, who are not dependent on others. That is wellness and well being. No wonder I said it is the same coin but two different sides. Let's see the next slide. So, the Annamaya Kosh, which is your physical body. In one sentence, I would say it is a healthy home for your body. Yes. So, the whole goal of the Annamaya Kosh is to create a healthy home for your body. So, your body is not just this body that you see, your body is everything that is actually inside it. So, this outer frame of ours is actually the home of our body. So, the physical aspects of development. And that's what our curriculum needs to look into. 6 घंटे का स्कूल होता है, उसमें कितने घंटे बैठे रहते हैं बच्चे? What physical development are we talking about? And that's why a lot of teachers have now started giving movement breaks in the classroom. So, which means after every 10 or 15 minutes of sitting, let's do something active so that your Anandamaya Kosh or your physical body is also getting the necessary exercise. So, engage children in active learning, let them explore the environment, develop their fine motor and their gross motor skills. Very important. So, physical, it starts with a good physical body. Now, let's see the next one. Pranamaya Kosh. I want you all to take a deep breath. The minute you do that, what happens? You're actually taking in oxygen. I know the people in Delhi will tell me, मैडम इधर तो ऑक्सीजन ही नहीं है. Don't worry, मुंबई का भी वही हाल हो रहा है. But जितना भी ऑक्सीजन है उसको अंदर लो and try to take out all the bad things which are there in your body. And the thing about air is, air purifies. And the thing about oxygen is required by your body and your brain. Do you know why you yawn? Do you know why you yawn? We yawn uncontrollably. We can't control it. Have you noticed that there is one thing in your body that you can't control? You suddenly yawn and you didn't even know the yawn was coming. It means the brain needs oxygen. When the brain's oxygen goes down, it makes you yawn. Many people think I'm yawning because of boredom. No, it's not boredom. The information was so much that your brain ran out of oxygen trying to process it. And that's why you yawn. Many of you will yawn during this session. That doesn't mean my session is boring. It just means it has so much of information that your brain had to yawn to process that information. So, next time, teachers, if in your classroom your child yawns, please don't take it as an insult. It just means that your child's brain is trying to process something and taking in more oxygen to do it. Your pranamaya kosha is your battery. It's your special battery for energy. And that's why whether you exercise in a gym or you do yoga, everybody says focus on your breathing. Don't hold your breath. Release, take in, take out. It's all about the breath. Breath band ho gaya, हमारा मोबाइल फोन खत्म हो गया. It's all about breathing. So मोबाइल फोन का बैटरी तो हम लोग देख लेते हैं और जल्दी जल्दी चार्जर ढूंढ के डाल देते हैं. What about your battery? Do you know when your battery is down and you need to take more breaths? And that is why when you are angry, when you are upset, when you are depressed, just take a deep breath, because that is your battery. That's your energy. That's your vital energy. And that balanced vital energy helps children regulate their focus, their attention, and maintain enthusiasm for learning. So when I want children to take a deep breath, आजकल के बच्चे ना, they are brought up on mobile phone, so they want action, they want activity, they want wow, कुछ नया होना चाहिए. So if you tell them take a deep breath, how boring. Tell them let's breathe like a snake. So we all are going to imagine we are snakes, and we are all going to say hiss. Now I hissed the breath out. Take it in. Now hiss. So become snakes. Or tell them that we are bunnies and we are going to breathe in like bunnies today. So you can make even the breathing exercise interesting for children, because kya kare? These are children who are brought up on all these mobile phones and they want constantly entertainment. But for you and me, whenever you are feeling a little lost, a little depressed, a little, what am I doing? And you are back on track. Let's see the next slide. Manomaya Kosha. Manomaya Kosha is your mental body. It's like that special cap. You know, why do we wear a cap? We usually wear a cap for two reasons. We wear a cap because it's cold or it's sunny, so we wear a cap. But many of us wear a cap because we want to hide ourselves. We want that little cocoon. We want to feel protected. And that's why we wear a cap. You must have seen many of these film stars. They wear a cap even in the night. Why? They're trying to hide. Hide from whom? Their fans? No, they actually want people to recognize them. So then why are they hiding? Because everybody has insecurities. Everybody feels, what if I'm not looking good? So everybody needs that cap, the mental cap. And it refers to our emotions and to our mental health. How do we make this possible for children? Because children, if you want them to take in information, if you want them to link the information that you have given them, if you want them to come out with new ideas, they need to feel comfortable. They need to feel safe. They need to feel accepted. They need to have their Manomaya Kosh cap on. And that's where we have to think about all our subjects, all our lesson plans. Have I infused or am I making my children wear their Manomaya cap? That is very important. Let's see the next one. Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is your intellectual body. All of us have it. You know, God has been very kind to all of us. We are all born with the same number of neurons in our brain, same number. God was not ke isko मैं ज़्यादा intelligent बनाऊंगा, इसको कम बनाऊंगा. God gave us the same number of neurons. So then why are some of us intelligent and some of us not? Because God didn't tell our parents and teachers कि उन neurons का connection आपके हाथ में है. So in the first 3 years, we were with our parents, and whatever they did to us caused either a happy soul or a confused soul or a frustrated soul. And then after 3 years, the teachers came in our life. They also didn't know about brain development. And that's why some of us, even though we had the same number of neurons, became less intelligent, and some of them became more intelligent. So we all have the same intelligence, because this is our supercomputer. God has gifted each one of us a supercomputer. How are we taking care of this supercomputer? Are we really looking for intelligent things to watch? Nah, we're watching reels about dogs and cats and stupid people. That's what we've been reduced to. So, what you watch, what you read, what you react to defines your supercomputer. And that's what we want to teach young children. We want to teach the students in our class that this is a supercomputer, use it well. Don't waste it on stupid things. We have to have that intellectual and cognitive capacity. So children need it to reason, to reflect, to apply knowledge to real life situations. Reasoning means what? Reasoning is very simple, friends. You get today a video on your WhatsApp. You watch that video and you go, ha 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 ha. Okay, today somebody showed me one video and they went, ha 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 ha. Why? There was this child who was crying and the father showed one danda and the child said, jhukega nahi. And everybody was laughing. The video, and I just asked one question. I said, but the child is crying. I said, what's so funny about this video? The child is crying. Can't you all see that? What's making you laugh in this video? A poor crying child is being threatened by a stick, and we are all laughing. Where's our reasoning skill? Where are we using our Vignanamaya kosha? Or are we just sab has rahe to mujhe bhi hasna chahiye? Haven't we been reduced to that? That's why कुछ भी stand up comedians आजकल बोल रहे हैं और सब लोग हंस रहे हैं. We've lost our ability to reason, reflect on it, and then see whether I can use it in my everyday situation. Let's see the last Panchakosha. So you have the Anandamaya Kosha. Now think about it. We started by having a healthy body. We started by having a nice energy body. We said mental health bhi theek hai, intellectually bhi theek hai. Of course, Anand hoga. Of course, you'll be that person everybody will envy. My God, I don't know what makes her so happy. Why is she happy? She's fat, but why is she happy? She's dark, why is she happy? She's short, why is she happy? Because all this doesn't matter. What matters is your wellness and your well being. So, a sense of joy, a sense of fulfillment. I always tell people, why do you all consider your career as work? Why do you think, oh my God, I have to work? Isn't that what's giving you fulfillment in life? Especially women. Women को थोड़ा भी कुछ प्रॉब्लम आ गया, कुछ बीमार पड़ गए, I'm going to leave my job. I wish men could do that. I wish men could say, I'm going to leave my job. No, but we've put from childhood this big responsibility on men that you will be the earning member of the family and you will take care of the family. We should also think like that. We should also think that our jobs are very important. Why do we think of jobs as jobs? Join something that makes you feel आनंदमया. पॉलिटिक्स तो होगा, ऐसे लोग भी होंगे आजू बाजू, but आनंदमया. You know, when I joined Jamnabai as a teacher, I had this quotation on my table. And ever since that, I've been following that quotation. And the trustee once walked inside the class and he saw the quotation. And what was the quotation? The quotation said, find something you like doing best and then get someone to pay you for doing it. So simple. And he said, he looked at the quotation and he said, Acha, so I am paying for something you like. I said, yes, sir. And that's how we should all be about our jobs, about our life, about our careers, about everything. Anandamaya kosha. Difficult, but possible. That is what the Panchakosha is all about. I wanted you all to experience the 5 stages of the Panchakosha because they are not difficult. They are so easy. Just keep away all your doubts and things aside and ask yourself, can I not be that teacher or that parent who can give Panchakosha to the children? Why should I steal their Panchakosha just because somebody stole mine? And Panchakosha is something that even if somebody stole it when you were 20 years old, now you can still get it back. That's the fun. It's all in your hands. Let's see the next slide. So, if anybody were to ask you, what do the Panchakosha contribute to our curriculum? मैं क्यों डालूं Panchakosha? So remember those nice terms we all use in conferences and everywhere? Holistic learning, integrated curriculum, experiential learning, emphasis on well-being, differentiated instruction. All this is possible only because of the Panchakosha, the 5 layers of human life. That's what we are all made of. Let's see the next slide. So, this is our Panchakosha. And if you want to read more about it, it is there on pages 19 to 22 of the National Education Policy. This is the visual that is given there. Now, let's link it to curriculum domains. Okay, because we are all about curriculum domains. Let's link it to that. So, Annamaya Kosh and Pranamaya Kosh is part of your physical development. Manomaya Kosh is part of your socio emotional and ethical development. Ethics is very important these days. You see so many controversies happening with stand up comedians, and then there will be people who will say, how can you protest? How can you ban? Ethics, morals. If anybody is taking away ethics and morals from society, we have a full right to protest, because it is as good as stealing oxygen. If oxygen is required for our physical body, ethics and morals are required for our mental body. And anybody who steals that is a thief. So it is very important to include ethical development in the curriculum, and it's given in the national curriculum framework. Vignanamaya Kosha is your cognitive development, and your Anandamaya Kosha is your aesthetic and cultural development. So, see, you got your culture, you got your curriculum domains also. You got physical development, socio emotional and ethical development, cognitive development, and aesthetic and cultural development. Now you will ask, where is literacy? Where is numeracy? That's part of cognitive development. So then you will have subdomains. But this is basically what encompasses the entire curriculum. Let's go to the next slide. So let me show you some samples, because I truly believe wellness and well-being is very important. And I have authored wellness and well-being books for Burlington. And when I was authoring those books, I said, how do I make this more interesting for teachers, parents, and children? So I made it into an A to Z book. So for every letter of the alphabet, there is an activity. And then I said, how do I make it even more interesting? So I have linked it to the Panchakoshas. So, which means while doing the activity, every teacher will know that by doing this activity, which of the Panchakosha am I developing in children? So, I would urge all schools to have a wellness and well being part in their curriculum. Now, I got a very weird feedback from Burlington. Recently, their people went to schools and showed the wellness and well being book, and principals asked, where are the worksheets? And they were stumped. And I said, but how can you teach wellness and well-being through a worksheet? The whole point of wellness and well-being is to give me physical activity, to give me an emotional activity. So you can do it through a book, but it's not necessarily that you can do it through worksheets. That's not possible. Wellness and well-being, let's look at our culture. Panchatantra. Most of us have read the Panchatantra. Most of us have heard about the Panchatantra. What was Panchatantra? Panchatantra was basically a book of stories, a collection of stories. Why did these stories come about? Vishnu Sarma, who was a teacher, he was called by a king, and a king had 3 mischievous princes. And the king told Vishnu Sarma, I don't know how to teach these princes to take over tomorrow as a king. इनको कौन पढ़ाएगा, इनको कौन सिखाएगा, एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ये वो फला ढिका, कौन सिखाएगा, इनको दिन नहीं सुनते हैं. Vishnu Sarma took those 3 princes under him and taught them everything through stories. And that collection of stories is called the Panchatantra. So, yes, wellness and well being comes through these things: stories, activities, songs. You can compile them in a book, but doesn't mean you have to give a worksheet for everything. Let's come out of that mindset. So let's see some examples. Let's see for age group 3 and 4, what kind of activities can you do in wellness and well-being? So let's look at this. You have, I'm going to act like a jellyfish. So guess which kosha am I developing through this activity? And it's given on the page. Look at that box. It says Annamaya Kosha and Pranamaya Kosha. And then look at the bottom of the sheet. There is a self assessment by the child. Did you like the activity? How did you like the activity? Because in every activity you do, if you take my feedback, there is reflection. And this is going to contribute to my mental well being. So, yes, I am a locust, I am a dolphin, I am a crab. Now, teachers can do this in various ways. They can show them the picture of that animal, and then tell them we are going to bend our bodies according to this. But while they are doing this, the teacher has to keep in mind that pranamaya kosha and annamaya kosha are being developed. Let's see the next one. Emotion. You wanted a worksheet? Yeah, simple one. Emotion act. So here is a picture of a child, and here is the emoji. Can you look at them? Let's talk about them. Let's talk about why they must be feeling like that. Don't just give a worksheet, join the columns. Don't do that. Talk to the children through this activity. What do these emojis stand for? What emotion is being talked about? Sing the song. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. But change the song. Change the song to what? If you see the song, if you're happy and you know it, पूरे गाने में if you're happy and you know it, अरे happy के बाद भी तो कुछ है ना? Teach me about that. So if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're angry and you know it, अब क्या करोगे? If you're angry and you know it, stomp your feet. If you're angry and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're angry and you know it and you really want to show it, if you're angry and you know it, stamp your feet. If you're sad and you know it, ये गाना भी है. ECA has just come out with it. Burlington has put it in their rhyme books. You must teach them emotional labeling. So it's not just a simple activity of look at the boy and look at the emoji and match them. So much more for the teacher to do. And it's all given in the worksheet. And which kosha are we developing? Manomaya kosha, mental health. And look at that again. How do you feel about the activity? Color. Let's see the next activity. Cookie knees. You know, we all play with different, we all make children exercise their whole body. But have you ever thought about exercising particular body parts? And it makes children have fun. There is a game which I recently picked up and I used it in the ECA conference. And a lot of principals asked me, ma'am, wo kahan se liya game? It's called Arms Crossed and Legs Crossed. It's a card game available on Amazon. Amazon should really pay me. So it's legs crossed game में सिर्फ legs से आप exercises करा रहे हो बच्चों को, and fingers crossed में you are showing them different ways they can hold their fingers so that you are exercising their fine motor, and it's a game, so it's a matching game which children can play with each other. In this I have put K for cookie knees. Play a game with your knees. What are the kind of things that you can do with your knees? Show me different ways that you can sit with your knees. And which kosha? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, and manomaya kosha. And the reasoning has been given, how to do the activity has been given, the benefits has been given. So while doing the activity, the teacher also has her Vignanamaya kosha in place, that I know why I'm doing this activity. Let's see the next one. L, listening bingo. We all love to play housey. How about playing a listening housey? So you have a collection of musical instrument sounds, okay, and other sounds, and the teacher plays the sound. And now the child has to listen and find whether I can find the picture in my bingo card jiska ye sound hai. Listening skills are becoming very poor in our children. And with activities like this, we can enhance their listening skills. Which kosha? Manomaya Kosha and Vignanmaya Kosha, because I have to think and then I have to tick on the bingo card. Let's see the next one. And then for why, I have the yoga bunny story. So it's doing yoga with a story. So once upon a time in a magical forest, a little rabbit named Bunny sets out on a journey to meet her friend, the butterfly. To prepare for her journey, she does yoga and starts with the mountain pose, Talasana. She feels strong and tall. So I'm doing yoga story. And which kosha? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, manomaya kosha. See how beautifully it's given. Let's see for the next age group. For 4 to 5 years. Let's see what we have for them. Next. Brilliant breathing. Remember, I spoke to you just now about making children breathe? Here you have the activity: snake breathing, whale breathing, bunny breathing, and bee breathing. Pranamaya kosha. Keep time in your curriculum for breathing exercises, because that vital energy, if it is missing, all your koshas will become weak. Let's see the next one. Brainy building. Now look at this. This activity basically is a match the column, but here they have to think a lot. And what do they have to think? They have to think that this design which I am seeing on the left is made up of which blocks which are given on the right. Which collection of blocks is it made up of? So there's a lot of thinking involved in this, and there's a lot of art thinking also involved. Shapes, colors, sizes. And that's why the Vijnana Kosha and the Anandamaya Kosha. Simple activity, but it really helps us exercise those koshas. And it really helps us think, make the child think. It's not just a senseless worksheet activity. You wanted worksheets, right? We have them. Yes, let's see the next one. Green light, yellow light, red light. You know, one of the things that very young children don't have is self regulation. They are not able to have impulse control, which means they know how to run, but they don't know how to run slowly. They know how to talk, but they don't know how to talk softly, and they don't know when to stop talking. So this is called impulse control. I want to talk, but I can't talk because the teacher is telling a story. Self regulation. I have to be in a line. Oh my god, self regulation तो है ही नहीं हमारे में. हम as an Indians हमारे में genes में नहीं है self regulation. Have you seen? Everybody will be waiting very nicely for a train to come. The minute the train comes, we push each other, gaya line. Self regulation ही नहीं है. And it's time we taught at least this generation how to have self regulation. This activity is very good for self regulation because the children have to look at the color. Red means I can't do the activity. Green means I have to start doing the activity. What does yellow mean? Well, find out from the book. But which kosha? Annamaya kosha, pranamaya kosha, vignanamaya kosha, and manomaya kosha. Let's see the next activity. H for health and hygiene hunt. So this is again another housey, but this time we are only going to search for things that help us in our health or help us in our hygiene. Let's tick only those. So now children will have to think. They will have to think. You may make them play a game where they have to pick up a card. All those activities are given here. You just have to follow them. Let's see the next one. Kindness challenge. Kindness is something that has gone out of fashion and we have to bring it back in our classrooms. Circle the activities that you have done. I can show kindness by various ways in which. So, talk about these activities. When can you do those things? Has anybody done it for you? Have you seen anybody doing it? So many things to talk about, even where kindness is concerned. Let's see the next one. Now, let's talk about 5 to 6 year olds. Let's see some samples. Emotion charade. Look and enact. It's very important for our children to understand that emotions are not bad. How we display them are bad. So, but if children are not, never taught only to recognize emotions, they won't know how to react to somebody. So, if I don't know that what sadness looks like, I will not be sensitive to somebody who's sitting next to me feeling sad, and I will go on, hey, अरे वो बाजू वाली जो तुम्हारे बाजू में बैठी वो बेचारी को दुख हो रहा है. But I am not able to make out because I can't recognize emotions. So teach children how to recognize emotions, and not only through emojis, through real facial expressions. So it's very, very important for children to have Manomaya Kosha, an understanding of Manomaya Kosha, if you really want them to take care of not only their emotional well being, but the well being of others also. You can't hurt people, period. Then you can't say I'm a stand up comedian. There is a stand up comedian who did a comedy on a 2-month old child requiring a 16 crore injection, and he made fun that how can any parent spend 16 crores to save a 2-month old child. Are 16 crores hai tumhare bank mein? I mean, was this even required? Did you even think that if that mother and father are listening to you talk like this, what it must be doing to their manomaya kosha? Remember, we said ethical development. It's not about mujhe to paisa mila na mere stand up comedy ka, जिसको भी बुरा लगा वो लगा. No, that's not good. We need to bring up a generation that's sensitive. Let's see the next one. Fun with torchlight. Children love to play with torches, but we never give them that opportunity to do so in school. All you need is a semi dark classroom. बहुत dark भी मत करना, because काफी बच्चे डर जाते हैं. Semi dark classroom, and then you cut out these shapes in colored paper, and then you put it in front of the torch and let them shine it on the wall and see the fun they will have. And that's called Vijnanamaya Kosha and Anandamaya Kosha, because they are learning about cause, effect, color, how high can I put it, how far should I go, and they are also exploring fun with colors and art. Let's see the next one. Insightful inquiry. Ask children questions, not always about what they have learned. Ask children questions and see how they are able to answer you. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? Just ask them. And why does it make you happy? Because when you ask these kind of questions to children, they learn to reason. They learn to understand themselves. What do you like about school? Very importantly, that's the best way to take feedback about school from children. What do you like about your school? What do you like about your class? What do you like about your class teacher? Very nice. So, this is called insightful inquiry. Manomaya kosha. Let's see the next one. Now, here's a story again. And here it says journey with movements. In a magical forest, there lives a brave girl named Malu. Malu loves to explore and go on quests. Today, her quest is to reach the sparkly waterfall. And to get there, Malu needs to hop like a bunny through the meadow. Now, let's all hop like bunnies. We are in a meadow. So you are not only listening to a story, you are following instructions, you're doing physical activities. Superb. Let's see the next one. My body, my right. It's also very important to teach children how to keep their body safe, because when I feel safe, I can concentrate. When I feel safe, I feel confident. So there is an activity in the book also about feeling safety. Yes, let's see the next one. So, friends, if you study the Panchakosha, you will realize that it is very similar to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But let's understand that there are some differences and some similarities. What are the similarities? Both say that there are different levels to attain for the complete fulfillment of a human being. Let's see the next slide. See, look at this. See the comparison. I have, of course, put the Maslow's hierarchy of needs upside down to match it with the Panchakosha. Both start with physiological needs. Both talk about safety. Both talk about love and belonging, which is your Manomaya Kosha. Both talk about self esteem. And then you reach self actualization. Let's see the next slide. Now, let's talk about the similarities and differences. Both say that the lower level needs have to be met first before you focus on cognition. Very important. Very important that I need to be healthy. I need to be emotionally safe before I can concentrate, because before I can focus, before I can remember, before I can analyze. Both are saying the same thing. Both are saying that the needs, which means each stage is hierarchical but not linear. So it's not necessary कि आपको आनंदमया कोश के बाद ही प्राणमया कोश आएगा. So you can have activities for any of the koshas, but we have to remember that Anandamaya kosha can be achieved once I have all this in place. What are the differences? Panchakosha is more holistic, okay, and it focuses on the development of an individual. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs basically focuses on an individual's motivation. Let's see the next slide. Now, you will say, इतना सारा बात तो कर लिया, वेलनेस एंड वेलबींग का भी बात किया, बट मैम हमारे पास तो करिकुलम है, हमको तो करिकुलम करना पड़ता है. Okay, then here is an example of how you can use the Panchakosha in your curriculum. Say, for example, you are planning a lesson on shapes. So, how can you use the Panchakosha for shapes? So, Annamaya Kosha, how will you use it? Touch, feel, look at shapes, listen to the sounds, create shapes with their bodies. Annamaya Kosha ho gaya. Pranamaya Kosha. Pranamaya Kosha is also about imagination. So I can imagine how shapes are used. So in this structure, how are they done? Manomaya Kosha. How do shapes make you feel? Draw your favorite shape. How are shapes used in celebrations? So if there is Eid coming, which shapes do you use in Eid celebration? Which shape will you use now? Holi is coming. So you have the cylindrical pitchkaris. You see, shapes are such an integral part of our life and they bring about emotions. Vignanamaya kosha, sort shapes by size, color, and shape, create patterns, play a game of shape bingo. And Anandamaya kosha, when I am able to do all this, I will feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of wonder when it comes to shapes and the amount of things that I can do with shapes. Simple topic shapes, you are able to use the whole Panchakosha. Try it. Try it with anything that you are planning in the class and become a Panchakosha class. Become a Panchakosha teacher. Let's see the next slide. Bharat, our country, was centuries ahead in education, friends. That's why I call it it's called in the NEP, it is called the Indian Knowledge Systems, not the traditional education system. Traditional education system है जिसको हम लोग इसमें एकदम stress हो रहे हैं. We are talking about the Indian knowledge systems. मैकॉले, ब्रिटिश का मैकॉले आया और हमको वो एकदम ट्रेडिशनल लर्निंग सिस्टम्स में डाल के गया. We don't even know why we are doing half the things we do in our classrooms. World pioneers talk about our traditional practices with their own names. But it's time, friends, that we embrace the Panchakosha and help children learn the way they should be learning, with choice, joy, and wonder. Thank you, everybody. And I hope that you were able to take at least something about the 5 Panchakoshas back into your class, into your curriculum, into your life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Swati ma'am. That was really, really insightful. So we have two questions over here, if we can address them. So someone is asking, ma'am, don't you think along with teacher, parents should also attend the webinar? Because what I felt most of the time, because of parents' pressure, school is doing unwanted work, like exam after exam, ranks, 100% attendance, and they end up coming with cough and fever syrup. So what's
How
your say on this, ma'am?
I know. I'm so against it. Even some of my schools do it, and I'm so against that giving an attendance award. I mean, there can be so many reasons why a child was not able to come. It could be a death in the family. It could just be that the mother was so depressed that day that she couldn't get the child ready on time. What are these awards for? That's what I'm saying. ये जो traditional education system जो मैकॉले ने थोपी थी हम पे, इसमें से निकलो. And
Right.
we are there as ECA, we are there as Burlington to help you cope up with the questions of parents. One thing I've learned, friends, I also head Podar. I have 490 preschools under me where I am not doing anything which is wrong for children. And how did we convince parents? We started with 8 children. Today we have 45,000 children. How did I convince? I didn't do a job alone. I have a whole team with me who's equally convinced. And that's very important. It's important if the whole school talks the same language, then the parent feels इसमें तो कुछ होगा कि ये लोग इतने confidently इस चीज को बात कर रहे हैं. And the second, even if you have changed 3 parents, use those 3 parents to talk to the other parents. They will do a much better job than what you will do. It's a change that we require in children's lives. Let's not give up. Let's do our best. बोलते जाओ, करते जाओ, change आएगा.
So another question, where do we get these activities? They are so meaningful.
Burlington. These are all
Burlington, of
actually
course.
from the book that I have written for Burlington. I've written a series for them. It's called Wellness and Wellbeing for nursery, junior kindergarten, and senior kindergarten. And I've taken all these activities from there. And I'm telling you, it's not just because I've done them. I really think these activities are brilliant. Please have them. There are 26 activities for every age group. Please have them.
Another question, how is it possible to come out of the system? And I think they're asking about the traditional system, I'm assuming. As a teacher, what could be done, ma'am?
Become a member of the association, early childhood association, because that's where you will get your energy. That's where you will get that cap of yours के अगर ये बोल रहे हैं, अगर ये कर रहे हैं तो मैं भी कर सकती हूँ. We just released a rhyme booklet. I will send it to Burlington and Burlington will send it to all of you all. We have 21 rhymes that we have changed. We have created this free resource and I feel every school should invest in it.
What to do if children not even take interest in anything? But I
I think,
doubt children would take interest.
yeah, children would take interest in these activities. But there will be some children who might not take interest, but that's your cue. That's your cue that something is wrong with this child's manomaya kosha or vignanamaya kosha. Because if I am cognitively not able to pay attention to you, then something is wrong with my vignanamaya kosha. And my vignanamaya kosha is always tied to my manomaya kosha. What is it? Am I overstimulated with mobile phones at home so the physical activities in the classrooms bore me? What is it? There will always be some reason for us to find out.
So a lot of questions around buying the book. Again, I'll reiterate Burlington English. You will get the book with Burlington English. One more question, ma'am. So how can it be synchronized with primary classes,
This
Pranami?
is
And I,
most, I am very happy that the NEP talks about foundational stage. It says 3 years to 8 years together. वो जो टुगेदर है ना उस पे हमको थोड़ा ज्यादा काम करना है क्योंकि बच्चे जो फर्स्ट स्टैंडर्ड में जाते हैं ना वो एक ही दिन बड़े हैं. यॉल से के 1 साल बड़े हैं नहीं. जब वो सीनियर केजी में थे और दूसरे दिन फर्स्ट ग्रेड में गए वो एक ही दिन बड़े हैं. और हम सडनली
right.
उनको ट्रीट करने लगे कि बड़े चिल्ड्रन, नाउ यू आर इन अ बिग स्कूल, नाउ यू आर इन अ बिग स्कूल. नहीं, वो एक ही दिन बड़े हैं. So let's be a little kinder to them. And the government has come out with a document even for that the first 6 months of the grade 1 should be based on this. Playway ही रखो उसको, इसीलिए foundational years बनाया है. But हाँ, इस पे हम सबको थोड़ा ज्यादा काम करना पड़ेगा.
So I think thank you so much for addressing the questions. And now, as we come to the end of this enlightening session on linking Panchakosha with wellness and well-being of young children, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you for your time, attention, and participation. A special thank you to Swati ma'am for sharing her profound knowledge, insights, and experiences with us. Your expertise has given us a deeper understanding of how the concept of Panchakosha can be integrated into early childhood education. I hope this session has been enriching for you and that you take away meaningful strategies to implement in your personal and professional journeys. Let's continue working towards creating a nurturing and balanced learning environment for our young learners. Thank you all once again for joining us today. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Burlington English, for engaging videos and webinars. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much, Deepshika. Thank you.
Pleasure, ma'am. It's always pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.